Case studies of successful Indigenous-led sustainability projects. Indigenous communities have long been the guardians of biodiversity, using their knowledge and traditions to manage forests, wildlife, and ecosystems. In recent years, Indigenous-led sustainability projects have gained global recognition for protecting endangered lands, restoring ecosystems, and practicing sustainable agriculture. This section highlights the Amazon rainforest, Indigenous land protection initiatives, the role of First Nations in rewilding and conservation efforts, agroecology and sustainable farming practices in Indigenous communities, the Amazon rainforest, Indigenous land protection initiatives. The Amazon rainforest is one of the most biodiverse places on Earth, but deforestation, mining, and industrial agriculture threaten its survival. Indigenous peoples have been at the forefront of conservation, protecting the forest through traditional land management and legal battles. Key fact: Indigenous lands in the Amazon store more carbon and suffer less deforestation than government-protected areas. The Kayapo people, Brazil. The Kayapo Nation has successfully protected over 10 million hectares of Amazonian rainforest from illegal logging and mining. Their approach? Community monitoring. Kayapo warriors patrol their land using drones and GPS to document illegal activities. Alliances with NGOs. They partner with groups like the Rainforest Foundation to secure land rights. Sustainable income. They sell wild harvested Brazil nuts instead of allowing deforestation for cattle ranching. Impact: Kayapo lands have 5 times less deforestation than surrounding areas. They prevent millions of tons of CO2 emissions by keeping trees standing. The Ashaninka people, Peru and Brazil. The Ashaninka people have been fighting for indigenous land rights in the Amazon for decades. Their achievements? Secured legal recognition of over 2 million hectares of rainforest. Educate youth in traditional conservation and sustainable forestry. Successfully blocked a dam project that would have flooded their homeland. Lesson: Indigenous land defenders are often the last line of defense against large-scale environmental destruction. The role of First Nations in rewilding and conservation efforts. Rewilding is the process of restoring ecosystems by reintroducing native species and protecting natural landscapes. First Nations in North America are leading rewilding projects that bring back lost wildlife and restore traditional lands. Bison reintroduction. Plains First Nations, USA, Canada. Bison, buffalo, once roamed North America in the millions, shaping grassland ecosystems. Colonial policies nearly exterminated them, but Indigenous-led projects are bringing them back. Project highlights: the Blackfeet Nation, Montana, USA, and Stoney Nakoda Nation, Canada, are reintroducing bison to tribal lands. The Intertribal Buffalo Council has restored thousands of bison to Indigenous lands. Bison help regenerate grasslands, improving soil health and biodiversity. Impact: rewilding restores ecosystems and revives cultural traditions like bison hunting and ceremonies. Bison herd supports food sovereignty by providing a sustainable meat source. The Great Bear Rainforest, British Columbia, Canada. First Nations in British Columbia fought for decades to protect the Great Bear Rainforest, one of the world's largest temperate rainforests. Key actions: negotiated a landmark agreement to protect 85% of the rainforest from logging. Created the Indigenous Guardian Program, where First Nations patrol the land and protect wildlife. Established sustainable tourism that funds conservation. Impact: the rainforest remains a safe haven for the rare white spirit bear. Indigenous management ensures long-term ecosystem health while supporting local economies. Agroecology and sustainable farming practices in Indigenous communities. Many Indigenous groups practice agroecology, a sustainable farming system that mimics natural ecosystems. Unlike industrial agriculture, agroecology improves soil health, preserves biodiversity, and produces resilient crops. Milpa farming system, Maya, Mexico, and Central America. The Milpa system is a 3,000-year-old indigenous farming method that grows corn, beans, and squash together. Why it works? Corn provides support for beans to climb. Beans add nitrogen to the soil, fertilizing crops naturally. Squash covers the ground, preventing weeds and retaining moisture. No impact, no chemical fertilizers needed. The plants enrich the soil themselves. Farmers get multiple harvests from the same field, increasing food security. Amazonian food forests, Peru, Brazil, Colombia. Indigenous groups in the Amazon have transformed the jungle into food forests, growing fruit, nuts, and medicinal plants without clear cutting. How it works? Trees, shrubs, and vines grow together, just like a natural rainforest. This system feeds communities while storing carbon and preventing deforestation. Example, the Shipibo Conobo people in Peru use food forests to combat soil erosion and grow diverse crops without harming biodiversity. Andean terracing, Quechua and Aymara, South America. For thousands of years, the Quechua and Aymara people have used terracing to farm on steep mountainsides. Why it works? Terraces reduce soil erosion and capture water for crops. Ancient stone walls retain heat, protecting crops from cold nights. Native plants like quinoa and potatoes thrive in harsh conditions. Impact: Andean farmers produce food without modern machinery or pesticides. The method prevents landslides and improves food security in mountainous regions. Conclusion: Indigenous communities are not just protecting nature, they are actively restoring ecosystems and developing sustainable solutions for future generations. Key takeaways: Indigenous land protection outperforms government conservation efforts in stopping deforestation. First Nations rewilding projects bring back lost species and revitalize ecosystems. Agroecology offers a sustainable alternative to industrial farming. Final thought: the future of conservation depends on recognizing Indigenous leadership and learning from traditional ecological knowledge. Opportunities for this is the next one.